Once, in a land where the earth split open beneath the merciless sun, the skies forgot to weep. For moons without end, the rain did not fall. Rivers turned to silent graves, the fields became dust, the trees, skeletons against the wind. Children cupped dry hands, staring at the empty sky. Elders gathered in the shade of the last standing tree, whispering of an ancient curse. A curse, they said, only the river could lift. From the belly of the mountain, through mist and shadow, the oracle emerged. Her bones seemed carved from storm clouds, her voice laced with thunder. The river sleeps, she declared, staff striking the ground with a sound that shook the air. And only a maiden's vow can wake him. The people gasped. Some stepped back. For the river god was not a myth to them, he was a memory. Among the silent crowd stood Ada. Her eyes, the deep brown of rich earth, burned with a fire no drought could quench. I will go, she said, her voice steady as stone. Not for glory. Not for riches. But for the people whose bellies ached with hunger. For the mothers whose lullabies had grown quiet. For her own mother, who had not smiled in moons. When the first blush of dawn kissed the horizon, Ada reached the ancient riverbed. The water was still, as if holding its breath. She knelt at the bank and began to sing an old song, passed from grandmother to granddaughter. It spoke of rain dancing with soil, of rivers cradling the land, of love deep as the ocean floor. Her voice was soft, but it carried. And far beneath the sleeping waters, something began to stir. The water swelled, lifting like the breath of the earth. Then it broke, and from its shimmering heart, he rose. The river god. Tall as the tallest tree. Skin flowing like black rain over stone, eyes glowing like moons pulled from the sky. His voice roared like distant thunder. Who dares sing me awake, he asked, each word rippling the water at her feet. And still, Ada did not run. Without warning, fire erupted around her. Flames leapt high, the air thick with heat. But Ada stepped forward. Love, she whispered, is stronger than fear. And in her words, the fire bent low, calling away like smoke in the wind. The world blurred. She saw her mother weeping, her village starving, the sky forever dry. The weight of hopelessness pressed on her chest. But she shut her eyes and breathed. This is not real, she said, her voice cutting through the lie. And the vision shattered, revealing the path ahead. He showed her past, the loneliness of her childhood, the ache of loss, the sharp edges of sorrow. Tears stung her eyes, but she stepped forward and embraced the vision. Even pain, she whispered, is part of love. The memories trembled, then faded into light. At last, the river god stood before her, his eyes deep as eternity. Will you stay with me, forever? He asked. She looked toward her village, so close, yet so far, and then back at him. Her heart knew. Yes, she said. Not as a sacrifice. Not as a duty. But as love. Seasons turned. Years passed. And yet, the river still whispered her name. They tell of a girl who loved so fiercely, even the river wept. At dusk, if you stand by the water, you may hear her laughter between the ripples. Lilies bloom where her tears once fell. Because love like hers never really leaves. It simply flows, forever. True love is the courage to give without expecting, and its legacy flows beyond a lifetime.